Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is day 6 of the MyxoTech website build, and we have actually about an hour. And I also expect that I will be taking a couple of breaks, as in I will pause the recording a few times because probably we're going to get all the way to these accordions and I need to figure them out live. I haven't really prepared how to build them. I mean, I have an idea about it in my head, but I'm not gonna, make you sit through me trying to figure it out. So there's gonna be a bunch of skips, but I'm thinking we're probably gonna be here easily. I'm gonna be here for an hour and you, a little bit less than that. So before we jump into the actual work of the day, I want to get back to you about this. Did I just switch the tabs? Yes. About this issue here where we have this line, right? This gap, this 1 pixel gap between the before pseudo element and the edge of the actual section where the background shines through. And I spoke to some friends who are also web developers and designers. And it seems like what's happening is the browser is miscalculating the height of the actual section, because you can see here the height is, if you look at this, yeah, if you look at this speech bubble, you can see that the height is 638.75 pixels, which happens because we have calculations and clamp functions in here to calculate heights of fonts, for instance, or just, different elements inside here stacked on top of each other that, add up to not full pixel values, but something in between, which then means that sometimes this gap just occurs because we have fractions of pixels as the actual height of the section. So the solution really is what I proposed before, that we're going to have here on the before, where we designed this whole slope with this diagonal line. This before pseudo element is going to have a bottom value of -1 pixel, and then the problem is solved. That's the best solution, at least to my current understanding. Now we're gonna start and we're gonna go right into the next section, which I already prepared last time. It's our about us section. We're gonna have a wrapper in here, and then we're gonna look at Figma to see what exactly we need. We need this, we need two, blocks. It's gonna be a 2-column grid layout. We need this claim, we need a button, and then we need just the history and mission here. So let's do that. In here, we're going to have 2 blocks. The wrapper is going to be a grid 2 class. And then in here, we are going to put the claim. So I'm going to just take the claim from up here. Just expand the whole hero. Take this claim, Control C. Going to go into this block, Control V. And we can already see that there's a problem with the way I designed the claim to fit up here. So we're going to have to figure out what I did there that makes it work here and that doesn't make it work down here. Then we're going to need a button. So we're going to go into this block again, Control Shift left to open it, and we're going to press the letter U to insert a button. The button is going to have it's going to be a secondary button. And we're going to do the styling in a moment. And then the second part here is this block, which is really dirt simple. It's just our history and mission. So it's an H3 and a text. So we press the letter H and we press the letter, I think it's T. Text link, no. Let's see, is it rich text? Is it R? Yes, bingo. Okay, there we go. So shall we get on to the styling? I think we should. So we have the left column here. We're not going to the styling. We're going to naming stuff in our structure panel. And the left column is going to be called, not left column, but I mean, claim wrapper. I'm going to think of something better later. And then here we're going to call it text we're going to call it body. We're going to call this intro here, and we're going to call the other one body. So there's the body, there's the claim, which is fine. It has its own body, head wrapper and all that stuff. This is good. And then the body here has a heading and rich text. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be the text. Now, styling the body is fairly simple. All we need really is a column gap, a row gap of space content. And styling the wrapper is, there needs to be one more thing. We need to have align items stretch. We don't really need that, do we? No, we don't. There's no reason for them to stretch because they don't have a background color or anything that, you know, nobody's going to see if these two items, this block and this block, are going to be the same height, right? Because it's just, you know, there. It just works like that. So no need to do that. Intro. We're going to do the button next. We're going to look at the secondary design of a button. It's pretty simple what we need for a secondary button. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to turn this. I think I'm just going to use dark here. I think there's a style, dark. Perfect. And by dark, I mean dark text. So in my mind, that makes sense. We have a primary button and we have a dark button. These are the two button styles that we're going to have on this website. So element button, we go to style dark. Background color is transparent. Wonderful. And the typography text color is going to be our base. And this should do the trick, right? There's what we want. So while we're on this button, it says contact us now. No, let's not do content yet. Let's do styling. So the claim is gonna have a row gap of space content. No, not the claim. No. Matt. The intro, because we want to have this gap here, right? So row gap, space content. There we go. And now let's look at the claim. What happened here? So I'm pretty sure probably the whole claim is just, this is the whole claim. So it does have a 100% width. Then the body is limited. So if I go layout here and I go max width everything, it's going to fix it for here, which is fine, but now it breaks it up here. So how do we get, I mean, I can just do this at the ID level, really. That's one way of doing it. It might be the smartest way too, but let's see if there's anything else. Let's look at this claim up here. Let's close a bunch of stuff that we don't need. I'm going to close this, and then I can extend the claim. The claim itself should be full width. The body should be full width. I also earlier, I wondered, this whole, like this body being here isn't really, I mean, I built the claim like it is now, and I'm not going to undo it or unravel it and just put it back together. It's fine the way it is, but I think, wait, was it over? Was it a, no. No, I did well. Maddie did well because the button is part of the claim. So we need the claim wrapper, but then we need the body. And then, yeah, so it's all good. Because the frame only is part of the body, right? And not, the frame shouldn't extend to this. So if we, what I was thinking is if we just get rid of the claim as a wrapper and just use the body for everything, then it's not going to work anymore with the frame, right? Because if I put the button in here, it just, yeah, it doesn't work. So let's go back and let's, I'm lying. You know what? Let's fix it. I'm going to pause. I'm going to save you some time and I'm going to come back. Just so you know, this is my OCD speaking right here. All right, plain and simple. So I didn't, for some reason, I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, it does break. The whole layout does break. Obviously, actually, if you put the button inside the body, right? That doesn't make sense. So the button stays here outside of the body, but inside, of course, the claim. And the other thing is the body here on this particular, just this one claim needs to be max width of 58. So I'll do this at the ID level. It just makes perfect sense. That's what this is for, right? So we had 58%. Yes. 59. No, it was 58. 58 was fine. And then that's all we need here, really. And now we can move on to down here. We fixed this. Really plain and simple. Perhaps on this one, let me see. Let's put in the content next. And then we're probably done with this. So let's see. This is MyxoTech, all about us. Yes, thank you. We're going to wrap this in a span. And since we still have the brand class on here, the span is already going to be colored. And then we get this. And the button says contact us now. Yes. And then here we have a heading, which is going to be an H3, our history and mission. And then this stuff, I'm going to take that too while I'm here. Might as well fill my bags. So here we're going to put the H3. And here we're going to put this. Control-Shift-V. Control-Shift-V. Why did I press Control-Shift? Because I don't want to copy any formatting from any other source into this, right? I don't want to bring over any formatting that might be there, which in this case here, it's really not a problem because there is no special formatting here. But anyway, whenever you copy from one source to another, target, like let's say, especially from like a Word document to WordPress or like your website, then if you just press Control-C, Control-V, you're taking all the formatting that was done in Word and just transposing it into your target. And it might mess with whatever global styling settings you have set for that, for that site. And it might make things more difficult for you. So if you just press Control-Shift-V, it's the same as right-clicking and saying paste as plain text. That way you're just copying the actual text and none of the formatting. And then you can do the formatting again here at the target on the website where it's supposed to be. And this is, do we have some highlighting in here? No, there's no highlighting even. Might be worth considering that we highlight something. Let's put the accent class on this. And then let's see what we make bold. We are a team. Okay, I'm going to pause. So I decided there are two core assertions here that I kind of want to highlight. First of all, we're a team of seasoned natural product drug hunters. And then this bit here, extending the potential of myxobacteria specialized metabolism. And I'm finding that over here, this yellow color on a white background is a little bit too hard to read for my tastes. It's okay, but it works fine up here, but it's not really ideal down here. So we're going to look at the accent class. I think that was in typography here. We're going to use the D1, the slightly darker shade that we have. It's there for a reason, and this is how we're going to use it. Wait, where did I put that stuff? Wasn't it in typography? Why would it be in layout? Other stuff, yada yada, menu styling. Where is that? Okay, I'm going to look for it. Okay, so I put it in Bricks itself. I remember now. Accent dash D1. Is it D1? Colors. It is. Copy to clipboard. There. And see if this works up here. See, it works up here. It's okay. Why don't we just make the whole D1 thing just a slight bit brighter? Just not as bright as, you know, the regular one. Color manager, accent D1. We've got an HSL here. We want to work on HSL. So lightness, 38. Let's make it 45. See, there we go. This looks fine here. And it certainly looks fine further up as well. Like we can see it here, that it's good. It's a wonderful compromise. And I think it does the trick. It does what we want it to do. So now I'm thinking only, do we extend the frame just a little bit? Because here it kind of feels cramped. Up there it feels fine. It's, yeah, even at second glance up there, it could be a little wider. So we go to the frame, we go to layout, 70, 75, and we press Control P, escape. And yeah, this looks good. Again, I'm kind of annoyed that Bricks renders this outline here. That doesn't belong there. But them's the breaks. Okay, perfect. So you see that within 17 minutes, we built this whole section. So all the work we did initially to design all this, to make the classes, to set up the stylings, to, you know, set standards, this is paying off right now because we just breezed through a whole section. Admittedly, it wasn't a very hard section to build, but still, I mean, we have this claim once and it's perfect, right? We just needed to do a little bit of adjustment. There's things that we're going to find out about it later when we do responsive design. There's going to be some more fixing we need to do probably about this claim. But still, since we have it all bammed out, since everything is being used with classes, this is stylable, it's maintainable. So in the future, any changes we make, we can make them globally very easily. This is the power of, you know, basically just having a system, working systematically and developing with foresight. Okay, next section. Rant over. Again, this is just a dark section. I think we have a class for that. No, do we? I might have decided that a class is not even necessary. So I'm going to press S for a section. We're going to call this the FAQ section because it's an FAQ section. It's going to have a wrapper. And we are going to see about classes. Section dark. Perfect. And we're in the wrapper. Again, we're going to have two blocks because it's a grid. Grid 2. Bada bing, bada boom. And we're going to have an intro. Again, there's going to be a claim in this. And then we have our FA questions. There we go. So in the intro, we're going to have a claim again. This time I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to save the claim as a template. Save as template, quick save. Quick save is something that Maxime introduced in Advanced Themer. I think if I press quick save, well, first of all, it automatically creates this thumbnail for us, which is freaking amazing. And I'm just going to call it claim. It doesn't have a bundle, it doesn't have tags. This is the structure that is saved. So it gives us a preview of everything that we're doing. And this is that, right? So now I've created that template. I think if I used, let's just for shits and giggles, try intro, save as template. What happens if I do that? Yeah, then I don't get this whole creating a thumbnail for it and all that. So quick save really does what it says on the tin. It really quickly allows you to save a full template with all the bells and whistles that you want. Yeah, tasty tea. What tea is this? Fennel. Very nice. I like it. I just made it, so I should know what it is. So I didn't save this, so it's good. I can collapse this and I'm going to collapse this. And we go down to questions. And here's where we're going to have to build the accordions. which is probably going to be a bit of a pain. We're going to insert the claim here. There it goes. No, wait, why does, okay, fair enough. Just going to move it in here. And we're going to have a button as well. Yeah, press the letter U. Then the intro is going to have a row gap, space content. Not the intro. Yes, sure. Why is it not working? Why is space content not working? I'm on the intro. This is the claim. This is the button. Reload canvas. Okay. It did work. It just didn't update. Frequently asked questions, learn more details. This is literally all we needed to do now. So frequently asked questions. I'm going to get this here. Questions going to wrap in a span. And this is going to be another brand, but an accent. You might have noticed that this section doesn't have a pre-heading, so we're just going to get rid of that. And then learn more details about our process, library, and the ways we can work together. Bada bing, bada boom. And does it even have a button? Yeah, it does a button. Contact us now. Contact us now. And now we're going to build an accordion. I'm going to pause. See you in a moment. All right, so this is how we're going to build the accordion. It's actually pretty easy. Just took me a moment to refamiliarize with it. So we're going to press Control-Shift-E, and we're going to, this is how we get to the elements overview, and we go accordion, nestable. We want a nestable accordion. This is something that Brix introduced now a while ago, but at first they only had an accordion with predefined opinionated settings, but nestable is an accordion where you can really build every part of the accordion according to your likes, accordioning it to your likes. So we have question. Now inside the question, there's an item, and there's the item has a time. Wait. Yeah, fucking. Just gonna call it accordion, and then here we have a question. And the question consists of a title and content. And then inside the title, they, predefined it for you. They put a heading and an icon, which makes perfect sense. And then they put a content, which is just a rich text. All of that makes perfect sense. There's very little that we need to really adjust here to make it look the way it is here in Figma. First of all, we need this icon here. You might ask, why am I not just using an icon library for this, right? Because Brix comes with icon libraries. But every time I go here and I use one of these libraries, I'm actually loading the entire icon library file. And that can be anywhere between 200 kilobytes to a megabyte or something, or even larger, right? But it's a chunk of data that gets loaded because we're loading the entire icon library to use one icon out of it. So it adds a lot of unnecessary bulk to our website that we don't need to actually load if we just use here an SVG and just upload that one single SVG that we want to use. So OCD FTW. We're back to question. Where do we start? First of all, I want to get this out of the way. This should not be an H5, it should be an H3. Why should it be an H3? Because this is an H2, and then, logically in the hierarchy of headings, it's an H3. That doesn't mean it has to look like an H3, because we want it to look like this, right? So now we can, I would say, we just give it a class. The class is going to be, this is going to be bemmed out anyway. Okay, so I'm not going to give it a class. I'm going to do that later. Does it, what does the title have? Okay, it has a bunch of ID styling. The icon has a bunch of ID styling. All right, we're back. So you see that we're 15 minutes into this build now, and I'm expecting that later when I actually edit this video, I'm going to cut out a whole chunk of content that I'm going to turn into a separate video where I'm messing around with these icons, right? Because that's where kind of I was here in the accordion. And then I realized that there was a lot of stuff that kind of messed with, that was kind of messy about icons. So that's going to be a separate video that I think the Bricks team should probably also take a look at. So it's not really relevant to this, but it did cost me probably, I don't know, like 20 minutes or something. So that's why we're at 50 now, and we're back with the accordion. Obviously now I need to remember what I was doing. So we go to FAQ, we have the accordion question title. And if you open the accordion here, you're going to see that this is already pretty fine. The title should have a row gap of content gap. Actually, no, we're going to give this a smaller one. Give it space S. Not the title. What am I doing? The question, right? Should have row gap space S. Yeah. Perfect. And then there's this space down here, which I don't understand why it's there. Probably because the content itself has like a padding or something. Does the bridge text have margin? Why is this there, padding 15? I don't know why there is a padding of 15 in there. I didn't ask for that. I don't know why I can't get rid of it either. It's still there. I don't want page builders to be opinionated. I mean, it looks fine, but it's not. I want to decide how this looks. I don't want anything else. I don't want the builder to make that decision for me. Thank you. This should not have been necessary. This should absolutely not have been necessary. I don't know why there's a 15 pixel padding at the top and bottom. I never asked for it. So now it's gone. We are fine with the content. Why is it scrolling up every time I... Okay. Today is bug day, man. Like, this is insane. So the title is in H3. That's the last thing we talked about, wasn't it? And I want to style this title, so I'm gonna style it at the ID level, and later I'm gonna give it a class. And then here, this has a bunch of styling already at the ID level, and I'm fine with that. And the question itself is the accordion. Yeah, it's predefined by the accordion, nested accordion when I put it in there. So why don't we style the title now? We have, where's the icon, by the way? All right, that's what we were talking about, wasn't it? So we're gonna, let's go back to that. Let's put in the icon. Perfect. So we're in Figma here. This is the icon that I want, right? I got this from hugeicons.com, I think. So now if I export this as an SVG, you're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna end up with an SVG that is a green down arrow. But if ever I want to turn this into a different color, probably I can still do this in bricks, but I don't want it to have any color, when it out of the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the key, the Alt key, and then I'm just going to drag this somewhere else, like somewhere outside of here, right? You see that this is now outside the front page. And so by holding Alt, I duplicated it. And now I'm just going to remove the color. Oh no, it does have to have some color. I thought if I remove the color, it would just give it a default. But that was probably naive. I mean, it does have to have a fill. It does have to have something. Okay, so then I'll just make it. Is that 0? Yeah, it's 0. Okay, so this is the arrow that I want. I'm going to export it as an SVG, and I'm going to rename it to down lowercase down dash arrow. So why? Because we don't want to have if ever we upload stuff to WordPress or, you know, to a website, in the file name, you don't want to have spaces because these are going to get converted to like special characters and stuff, or like placeholder characters when in URLs and stuff. So it doesn't look nice. It's not best practice. So we can upload this right from here. Icon, SVG. We want it in the design assets folder. I'm gonna go to upload file, select that file. Bada bing, bada boom, down arrow, .svg. That's our down arrow, insert. And we want it to be green. So now we can turn it green here with the stroke color. There. I thought, yeah, it works. So we want the icon to come first. And we want the heading. Now this should be space between, I think. Right? It's flex, it's horizontal flexing, and it's space between, but I want them all to be start like this. And I want there to be a column gap. No, I don't. No, what I want there to be is a line here. That is the full height. And in order to get that, I'm going to start styling the heading. So the heading is going to get, in layout, it's going to get a left margin of space S, should be fine. Yes. It's going to get a left padding of space S. And it's going to get a left border. Like 2 pixels. Solid. And our accent color. It's going to get a height 100%, I believe. How do I give it a height? How do I make it as high as the container? Title, align items, stretch. Yes. Okay. And then, but they should be set. They should be center. I might just say fuck it because it's my hour is over and I haven't even started building that goddamn accordion. I might revisit this in a later video. I don't know. I mean, kind of screwed myself with that detour, but it's for the greater good. And eventually this website will be done. So let's take just a quick moment here. For now, I'm just not going to care. This is what I'm going to do. So we're going to go to the heading. We want the style to be, we want the typography to be font size, typo, body. Okay. There we go. We want the font to be our Courier Prime font. We don't want it to be capitalized. We don't want it to be as bold. Oh no, this font just has bold or not bold. Yeah, so it's either bold or not bold. We want it to be bold. Yes, perfect. I'm just going to take this text to get a look at what this is going to look like. I want this to be, to not shrink. Where are the flex controls? Flex, shrink, 0. There we go. You know, that way it's always going to be the 7 or whatever. Oh yeah, I need to give it a width. Width 7. No, it should be like 4 rem or something. and a height of 4. This looks fine. And the heading is fine. And I think this is pretty much it, isn't it? We just built ourselves an accordion, ladies and gentlemen. The question is, I still don't understand this. But I have no patience for investigating it either. So we're gonna go here, content. It does have a row gap. Why is, oh, because the space has. It's better as space content. Yeah. Yeah, this looks fine. So now I believe it should already be working. This should be our finished working accordion. Yes. Isn't that wonderful? So now I believe if I just duplicate these questions a couple times, I think we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna. Okay, I made the same mistake as before. I duplicated them without BEMing it first. So I'm gonna not duplicate it, and I'm gonna go here, right click, class converter, question title, icon, heading, content and text. This is fine. I want to copy the ID styles to the classes. I want to erase the ID styles. Yes, create classes. So now we've got BEM, and the spacing here got lost. So I don't know why, but I'm going to have to restore it. If I go to question heading, I go to style, layout, it's still there. So reload the builder. No icon selected. And the spacing is gone. So let's bring the icon back first. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do this on the ID level. Icon, SVG, select the icon, this, insert. Stroke color, this. And we go back to the class, we go to layout. I don't know why this, probably there's a conflicting thing here. Let's not go to layout here. Let's go to style, layout. It's not the padding that got lost, it's the margin. Margin left. Margin 0. Accordion nested accordion title wrapper Briggsy heading. Has a margin of 0. Who decides that? Who makes that decision for me? This is not what I want. This is not. Just let me please make the decisions I want to make. Jesus Christ. And this is bricks, right? Like, just imagine how many fucking opinions I had to battle when I was using Beaver Builder. It was a mud fight, guys. It was insane. Like, and there was already important in the CSS for no fucking reason. And I had to work around all that, and you just fight these incessant wars against their insane ideas, you know. So we're gonna duplicate the question. We're gonna notice that there needs to be a gap here. So perhaps we can, let's see what the where's the gap? Okay, it doesn't have gap controls, so root row gap content. important. Doesn't work. This is not my day. This is clearly not my day. I'm not on okay. Question listening. You're not listening. You're clearly not listening to me. The row gap just isn't computed. Yes, it's a flex. It has a row gap. Grid rows. Is it, I mean, what am I doing wrong? What am I not seeing? If I go to question, there's a row gap on this between the title and the content. Wow, what a bugfest, guys. What a bugfest. Why does it jump up here? Can anybody explain this to me? Like, why is this happening? Okay, so the title has a row gap. Yes, here, space M. Why do I have I don't need a row gap in the title. I want a row gap in the question. So there it is, space, and that works too, right? I cannot expand the question right now for some reason, but that row gap works. And it is, I mean, it is a row gap, right? Row gap, there it is. But the wrapper of the whole thing, oh, the display block property prevents it. This is a block? Why? Okay, fine, fair enough, good. So we go back to accordion. Jesus. Display flex. Flex direction is row, no column. OL. It's not? Okay, I'm going to pause. Okay, so it's column, and it is column now. Okay, it did what it did what I wanted it to do. Eventually it did that. So I needed to write a bunch of CSS. This is the CSS. Root display flex. I'm going to give it a flex direction of column and a row gap of space content, and I don't need the important on this anymore because it's probably working fine like this. Okay. There we are. And now all I really need to do is just duplicate these questions a couple times and put in the content. And you don't need to see that. It's not pretty to look at. There we go. There we go. Look at that, man. We got it. We're done with the frequently asked questions. I'm going to populate them. And I thank you very much for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, this is Future Matt. I would like to follow up real quick on the accordion. There's a couple things that I have since figured out and a few things that I've also corrected, because if we look at Figma, we see that originally I designed this section with the accordion, the frequently asked questions, to have these lines between the accordion items. So between the questions, there are separator lines, and we forgot to actually build them when we made this. So how do we go from this here to this here, where we have these separator lines between those questions? Now let's take a look at that first, and then let's take a look at a few things that I've since figured out, especially about the things that pissed me off while I was building it. So originally we had this CSS here where I said, I'm at the accordion level, right? So the accordion is the container that contains all these questions, and then the questions have this class question, and then they are bemmed out, so we have question title and so on. So let's go back to the accordion and let's look at the CSS that I wrote. So I set it to display flex and the flex direction to column, and then I gave it this row gap to have this spacing between the questions. Now what I want is to instead have these lines. So we're going to do this pretty much similarly to how we did this here, right? This spacing here. Basically, here I just took the heading and I gave it a left padding, I gave it a border, and then I gave it a left margin, and bada bing, bada boom, that's what we had. And that's the same thing we're going to do now for, oops, where did I land? Here. For this, just, between the questions. So we're going to get rid of this CSS, and then we're going to take the CSS that I wrote for this, and you'll see how these lines are now there. Right, there they are. Okay, so what's the CSS? We select the root, so we select the accordion, and then inside the accordion we select all the questions, and we don't want the last question to be selected. So I said colon not colon last child, because the last question shouldn't have this decoration below it, right? And I said padding bottom space M, margin bottom space N and M, and then I just gave it a border bottom, 2 pixels dotted RGBA. So we have 255 times 3, which means we have white at 0.2 opacity, so fairly transparent. And that's how we get this effect. In bricks, actually, this not last child is actually ignored, and you can see that even the last child has this decoration at the bottom. But then if we load it on the front end, it's fine. Oops. Right, it looks fine. So there we go. Oh, I should probably save it. And that's that. So there are 2 or 3 answers that I found. First of all, I wanted to know why the content here has this 15 pixels. Was it on the tile? Was it on the content, or was it on the rich text contained therein? I think it was on the content. There was this 15 pixels where I had to write 0 important to, get rid of that padding. And actually that was just set up at the parent level. If you go to the accordion, then you can see down here, you should, perhaps it's not properly loaded. Let's see. There are controls for that. So let's see about the accordion. Wrapper, accordion, intro, no, questions. Accordion, bingo. So on the content, there was padding here, and I just removed that, and then everything was hunky-dory. And the same thing on the title, there was a bunch of stuff that I don't remember what it was, but I think there was one thing that I was able to just remove. Just the one thing that I didn't get a handle on is if I look at a question and at the title and then the heading, you remember that I needed to write this space S here with an important to override something that they were doing at the ID level, which I still don't get what the point of that was and where it came from. So that's that. And that's pretty much it. The contents are there and the accordions are done. So we can now move on to the next day. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye.